everybody, welcome back to Outside. I'm Chris Proulx in the North Conway studio, joined by Lisa McCoy of Great Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road. If you want to get outside this summer, you guys have just the ticket, actually multiple tickets, so many things to do there. Let's start with the Mount Washington Auto Road attraction. We've seen the bumper sticker. What is the actual tour up the auto road like?
So you can drive yourself or you can take a guided tour with our experienced drivers, but there's no better way to have an experience here in the North Conway area than to drive yourself or take a guided tour to the summit of Mount Washington. Of course, you mentioned the bumper sticker. When you drive yourself, you earn that iconic bumper sticker, "This car climbed Mount Washington." No vacation is complete without it.
Yes, and we've heard there's been some articles written lately, some clickbait people poo-pooing the bumper sticker, but this road is no joke.
It's no joke. You drive through 4 different climate zones when you go up to the top of Mount Washington on the auto road, and each zone is unique. And it's like driving to northern Labrador, Chris, that you know, in this 30-minute stint of driving, you're driving to an environment that doesn't really exist anywhere else other than the northern presidentials in New Hampshire. So it's really unique, very special, and you can't underestimate it.
Some of the most dramatic views anywhere in the White Mountains. And some people say, well, okay, they're driving, you can drive your car from the base, go up to the summit, get some nachos and come down. But people will say, well, you should really hike Mount Washington. I'm a hiker. You could do both. You can, and that's actually one of the best ways to enjoy the auto road.
Indeed, and I would say there's a lot of people who are not able to hike. If you want to bring your 4-year-old son or your 80-year-old grandmother, the Mount Washington Auto Road offers access to everybody generationally for memories to be made. You see the expression on kids' faces when they get up and maybe you drive through a cloud and so the clouds are coming through. I mean, you can say to your kids, like, have you ever driven through a cloud? No, I mean, if you've been on an airplane, you've seen, the clouds in the sky, but to be able to drive to them is actually a really unique experience.
And there are several places you can park your car, get out, and do some hiking along the mountain, exploring the different climate zones, ecology, and different views.
100%. And we definitely recommend it. And it's good to stop along the way anyway and just enjoy the journey rather than just, I got to get to the summit, I got to get down to the base. Next. Right. Enjoy the day, enjoy the time that you have. It's an experience. And if you've not done it, you've just not experienced it. So it's impossible to know what it's like until you've been up there and got that feeling of exposure on the road. It's like, no other drive.
And if you do have a fear of heights and you're a little bit nervous about tackling the road yourself, you do have another option, which is the guided tour.
Indeed, and the guided tour, even if you've driven it yourself, the guided tour will always offer something new and unique.
Yep.
The drivers each have their own specific kind of oral stories that they tell and history and kind of the lure of the mountain. I mean, this season is our 162nd season of the Mount Washington
Oldest man-made attraction in the U.S.?
That's correct. By hand, you figured they had like picks and shovels and they dug this road. And so every driver, even if you took 3 tours in one day, you'd get a different kind of piece of history and about the mountain, about the road, and about the region in general. So
it's very informative, very relaxing too. You don't have to worry about your spouse in the passenger seat keep elbowing you. No, stay in the middle of the road.
Yeah, you can just peer out the window.
Yes,
it's very luxurious.
Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Back at the base of the mountain, you have another attraction. It's called Great Glen Trails Outdoor Center. Tell us about that.
Great Glen is an amazing location right at the base of the auto road. You can spend a whole day there in Pinkham Notch, and we have 28 kilometers of wide carriage roads. A lot of people think of Acadia when they think of carriage roads, really famous. So those are here at Great Glen too. You have a bike with a little trailer for your little ones. It's perfect for riding your bike along. Or if you're just like you're getting into mountain biking and you want to just explore some wide gravel single tracks, or maybe you want to just do some pure distance and not have to worry about rocks and roots and kind of like the rugged single track of mountain biking. So we rent bikes, mountain bikes, cruiser bikes, we rent the trailer bikes. We also offer whitewater kayak instruction. So if you're interested in whitewater excursions going out, you can do that. And we also offer flat water kayak trips. So those are more like your wildlife tour. You sit in the kayak. That kayak wildlife tour is good for everybody.
Yep. Great Glen Trails is the place to go when you want to do something and you just don't know how. Mountain biking, for example, there are so many great trails around the Mount Washington Valley, but if you're new to the sport and you have, especially if you have a young family, it can be confusing. Okay, I want to make sure we go in someplace and don't get in over our head. I want to know where we're going to come out, and I don't want to get lost. Great Glen Trails has, everything loops back to the same base lodge, so it makes it very convenient. You rent the bikes, so you know you're going to be on, terrain with the proper equipment. It just makes it very easy. And the same with kayaking.
Yes, very easy.
Absolutely.
Very user-friendly.
Couple of quick tips from me. If you're mountain biking at Great Glen Trails, June, fantastic time because you have some lupin start to come in and other wildflowers. So beautiful.
So beautiful.
And then my favorite spot on the trail system is Great Angel Station.
Yes.
There's actually like a yurt up at the back of the woods, and you can hear the sounds. I believe it's the Cutler River, or is it the...
It is the West Branch, I believe, of the...
Peabody?
Maybe it is the West Branch of the... I should know this.
Peabody or the Cutler? Anyway, you can hear the beautiful river in the background, and you can see the Great Gulf wilderness just kind of expand before you with the presidentials in the background. It's a great place for a picnic.
It's a perfect spot for a picnic. It's picnic tables, some Adirondack chairs, you can take a nap. I don't know. There's a little spot you can go inside, but it's nice to be out.
All right, you ready to talk about events?
Sure.
Because in addition to just going to Great Glen Trails and the Auto Road on a daily basis, you can register for one of these great events, starting with Black Fly in My Eye.
Yes.
It's a foot trail race.
It's a trail running race. It uses the carriage roads and some single track on our system. You can do it as a solo 10-mile, a solo 3-mile, or if you want to get a team of 3 together, you can do a team of 3 with the 10-mile. So it's 10 miles and 3 distinct loops on our trail system, all kind of coming back through the one main kind of courtyard area. Super fun day, relaxing. We have a barbecue at the end, and of course our local favorite, Shark Martin Band, is playing for your post-race entertainment. There's a raffle. I'll mention some of our major sponsors. Solomon is there, and I believe that they're coming with some shoe demos.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to demo some shoes, it'd be great to try it out. And then EMS is one of our sponsors, so some awesome prizes with that event.
Very cool. And the date of the event is?
June 10th. It's a Saturday, June 10th.
How do people register?
You can go right on our website, greatglentrails.com, and then search events or look at the events, and you'll see the Black Fly.
And there you go. And the goal during the race is not to see the black fly. You got to outrun the black fly to stay sane. All right. So you've got that. Also, another world famous running event taking place on the Auto Road.
Yes, it is. That is June 17th. It's a week after the Black Fly Trail running race, and we closed the Auto Road for this event, so it's safe for our runners. There's about a field of 1,300 runners that make their way from the base to the summit, hopefully, on the Mount Washington Auto Road. And like you said, world class, some amazing elite runners from all around the world come to participate in this event and challenge themselves on this crazy hill climb.
And this race, registration is now closed, it is full, but we just wanted to let you know how prestigious this location is. Runners coming from around the globe to try to tackle the Northeast highest peak.
Yep.
If you have an ATV, in years past you've been sad because you either haven't been able to go up the Mount Washington Auto Road or you've been limited to maybe 1 or 2 days a year, but you guys have a couple of big events and then some other times throughout the season where you can ride your ATV.
That's it. Our New Hampshire ATV Day is sold out. It's a benefit for the New Hampshire ATV Club. That's sold out. That's June 24th. But if you're interested in driving your ATV, you can still do that. You just need to go on the little section of our website that says Drive and then click ATV, and you'll see that there's dates throughout the summer. They're limited, so we always recommend booking in advance. And so sometimes they sell out, especially on the weekends or Fridays when people are coming up. So definitely great to book, but that availability is there. So come on up and and drive your ATV.
And then coming up, I believe it's in July, another great, basically, festival. You've partnered with the Mount Washington Observatory to host the Seek the Peak party.
Yeah, it's a hike-a-thon, and so people kind of commit to hiking as a fundraiser for the Mount Washington Observatory, and we're lucky enough to host the after party. So you go for your hike, you raise money for the incredible work that the Mount Washington Observatory does, and then you come back and you have some awesome food and great prizes, and there's kind of like this expo for the outdoors that you can check out. And I know that Outside TV and Outside Magazine and Backpacker is a big part of that.
Yeah, Backpacker is one of the brands of Outside who we are now sisters with, and the Get Outside tour will be stopping at Seek the Peak. So very excited about that. Hope to be there myself. And we should also mention in August coming up, the 24 Hours of Great Glen. We talked about the great mountain bike trails that families can do. There's a wide variety of trails there, though, and some really, from beginner mountain bikers to expert mountain bikers, are going to try to tackle all of them in August.
That's it. It's an awesome event. It's a weekend-long kind of festival celebrating mountain bikes and mountain bike culture. You can do it as a 12-hour race or a 24-hour race, and it's teams of 5, 4, 2, or solo. And someone asked me recently, like, oh, I can't ride for 12 hours straight. No, that's not how this works. You have a 12-hour period, if you're doing the 12-hour race, to ride as many laps as you can. Same goes for the 24-hour race.
Yep.
You ride as many laps as you can, and maybe you ride 3 laps, and that's your race.
Like Sven Cole.
Right. So you might just decide that you want to, enjoy the first 3 laps of the race, and then that's it. You're going to take a nap and then enjoy the rest of the event for the rest of the day. We have kids' games, our 24-minute race for the kids. We watch a movie. It's all themed this year on Alice in Wonderland. So, we think of Great Glen as a wonderland, so it will be really fun.
A lot of fun. Just to watch some of the mountain bikers going through some of this crazy terrain, but also you've got a floating bridge across the pond. Occasionally, the pond takes a rider or two, which is always fun.
Spillage.
The kids' games, and it's graciously sponsored by Moat Mountain, so there's plenty of recovery beverages.
That's it. And we have food trucks. We greatly appreciate the support of Moat Mountain. We wouldn't be able to do it without their support. And we have an amazing announcer.
Oh, I will be back.
Yeah.
emceeing that event. I can't wait to do the I'm a Fuzzy Bunny marshmallow eating contest. My favorite part of the whole weekend.
It's not to be missed.
And finally, before we leave, we forgot to mention the sunset tours on the Mount Washington Auto Road. So anytime's a great time, but especially at sunset or sunrise. Tell us about that.
So we've been doing sunrises for many years now. This year we're going to allow people to come up after hours, so we'll extend the time of the day that the auto road is open. You can drive yourself up later in the day. We'll be open, I believe, until like 7:30 on 2 dates, July 8th and August 12th. Those are 2 Saturdays, but we'll extend the time that you can drive yourself to the summit to experience the sunset. You know, we are on the eastern flank of the mountain, so basically you get to watch the sun drop off the back end. So very neat opportunity. So you can either drive yourself or take a guided tour for those dates.
And will you need reservations, or will you just open early?
You'll need reservations for the guided tour, but not for the drive yourself. You can just show up just like you do for the sunrises, which are also happening this summer. So you can find all the details about those events on our website. It's
great. I imagine that would be a great place to maybe propose to somebody, very romantic.
Yes.
Or if
unless it's sucked in, and then you might have a cloud.
And then you might lose your significant other and never see that person again. But if you have, also if you're a photographer, because to get up to the summit of a mountain with your camera, you're tired, you're sweaty, your camera's shaky. This way you get a nice leisurely trip up the mountain to catch this beautiful panoramic sunrise or sunset.
Indeed, we've had a lot of photographers go up, and you can bring different lenses, which is the luxury of being able to drive yourself.
You don't have to haul all the gear on your back.
Exactly.
All right, so, Lisa McCoy, Great Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Chris, for having me here.
All right, you're watching Outside.